Sadhguru, I cannot even begin to tell you.
Oh, you speak, I thought you were a Mouni.
But aren't you taking it a little far by riding 30,000 kilometers yourself?
It is risky. I'm going through the worst of weather. I'm in the European winter and a war. It's 100 days. And instead of doing all this hi-bye, say save soil. Because if we don't do this now, we'll be doing bye-bye to good life itself. 100
Please.
days.
100. Boom! Namaskaram. Firstly, Sadhguru, I cannot even begin to tell you.
Oh, you speak, I thought you were a Mouni.
No, I truly feel honored to be standing here today, having this conversation with you. First of all my bestest wishes and congratulations on this initiative. This is a huge responsibility that you've taken up. I come from a small town, and a lot of the grains, dal, chawal, sabji, they used to come from the village, and which is, the quality of it is significantly deteriorated now. So I wanted to start this conversation by asking you, how significant is this movement for the farming community?
Tell me, will there be farming without soil? Then it is most significant for farming community, and it's most significant for every human being who eats something. Only there seems to be, or at least some people claim, there are few yogis who just eat sunlight and they don't eat any food. They're okay. For everybody else, it's super significant, because every responsible scientist in the world is pointing out that by 2045, we'll be producing 40% less food and our populations will be over 9 billion. That's a disastrous world. That's not a world in which you want to live, not a world where you want to leave your children and go. So, is it significant for the farmer? Absolutely. Right now, in India, you heard of farmer suicides all over.
Yes.
Over 300,000 farmers have committed suicide since 2000. How many more should die? How can we even sleep on this issue? People will explain it, that this is because of bank loan, this is because of that, this. You tell me, if you were a farmer, if your soil was rich and you could at least produce food for your own family, would you kill yourself?
No, never.
Definitely not, isn't it? So we need to address this. Suicides happen because farming on degraded soil is heartbreaking. In United States, 50% of the farmers have not made a single dollar in the last 12 years. The highest number of suicides among any particular profession is in the farming community in United States, the richest country in the world. So this is where it is. Does it make a difference for the farmer? Absolutely. You must visit some of the farms that we have regenerated and see how happy the farmer is, how his life is, not only in economic terms, just the joy of being on the land which is rich and full of energy.
So Sadhguru, you've taken up this initiative, but sorry I'm asking you this, but aren't you taking it a little far by riding 30,000 kilometers yourself on a bike across 26 countries?
See, if 300,000 farmers commit suicide, if still a nation and a society can sleep on it peacefully, it needs something to stimulate people, isn't it? So, at this stage in my life, what do you think, I'm 35, 25? I'm 65, okay? So at this stage in my life, for who I am in the world, I can live very comfortably. Anywhere I go, people take care of me.
I know, that's why I said you are you.
So, I don't really have to do anything. I don't have to prove anything in this world to anybody. Because I am who I am, and anywhere, any corner of the world I go, people will take care of me in utmost comfort and well-being. I don't have to own anything, people will take care of me. But right now, as a generation, if we do not do this, we will seriously regret this, because the biodiversity loss, the way it is happening is such, if you allow this to go for another 30 to 40 years, it will take 150 to 200 years to turn it around. But if we do it now, in 10 to 15 or maximum 20 years, we can make a significant turnaround. This is a commitment, this is a responsibility, and this is also a privilege of our generation, because we are in that cusp of time where we can make the difference. I think we should make the difference.
Yes.
Well, is it risky? It is risky. I'm going through the worst of weather. I'm in the European winter and a war.
Yes.
Arabian heat, it's around 38–40 degrees out there. In Europe, it's sub-zero in many of the places. When I enter India, I'm in the peak of monsoon. So I'm getting the works.
But you're doing it for all of us, the entire humankind, so thank you.
Because I'm a human being, what to do? If I was a different species, I wouldn't have.
I know. Sadhguru, when we talk about safe soil, you are referring to migration, hunger, poverty. I just wanted another perspective of how it is significant to a spiritual seeker.
Unfortunately, the word spiritual has been hijacked by all kinds of religious institutions, and they say spiritual means look up. The spirit is not in the sky, it is here, all right? So, if the spirit has to be at full play, full reverberance, body has to be in full reverberance, mind has to be in full reverberance, energies have to be there. Only when this ambience is there, the spirit will fly, otherwise, no. And ask any scientist you want, today there's a lot of science, but you don't need that kind of piece by piece kind of science. If you see that you're well-nourished, well-nourished means all the nutrients that are there or all the nutrients that you need in your food is there in the food because the soil is rich. You eat that kind of food for 1 month and see how well you will feel. And only when you feel really well by your own nature, not because of something, that is when you will always look at what is beyond this. Desperate people will not look beyond, they will only try to settle their today's problem. If you don't have any problem in your life, you're fine, if you sit here, you're blissful. This is when you will look what is beyond. People think the other way around. People think right now, people who are in some kind of trouble, pain, in some kind of misery, they will go to the temple or wherever else seek God. That is not spirituality. That is trying to find a easy solution for your problems, all right? Because if you look at the world, all the prayers on the planet, unfortunately 90% of them have been like this, dear God, give me this, give me that, save me, protect me. This is survival outsourced.
True.
Spirituality is not about outsourcing your survival. Spirituality is about outgrowing your survival needs.
So true. I just have a last question. How can we help? Anybody who has any amount of social media following or digital presence or, or just all of us, how can we help and be contributing?
Every human being can help, because we are living in democratic nations, which means the only real currency in a democratic nation is numbers. We want the whole world to speak of soil, say something of soil. For 100 days, from 21st of March, everybody speaks soil. You don't have to say anything about me, you don't have to support me, you speak soil. Today we have means on the social media platforms to aggregate all this and see how many people were talking about soil. If political parties and governments realize over 60% of the electorate are talking about soil, do you think they will not make it the election issue next time around?
Of course they will, and it'll make a huge
Yes.
amount of difference also.
Because if the policy change needs to happen, people have to show that intent. So right now, this is all it is about. The whole movement is about getting the intent from the world, from the citizens of various nations, that we have the intent for long-term well-being of our lives and future lives. Because right now we are consuming the soil of the unborn child.
That's true.
That's a cruel thing to do. That's a very cruel thing to do, but we are doing that. So just because you're blissfully unaware, that doesn't mean it's not happening. So, this is where we are right now. Do whatever you want. Everybody, spend at least 10 minutes for these 100 days. From 21st of March, 100 days, at least minimum 10 minutes to enhance the message. Just meet somebody on the street and say something about, this is a serious issue. Every day meet somebody new and tell them, please, this is needed. And instead of doing all this hi-bye, say save soil.
Save soil, okay.
Because if we don't do this now, we'll be doing bye-bye to good life itself. The goodness of life will go away from us.
I'm completely with you on this, Sadhguru, and thank you so much for taking up this cause, this movement, this initiative.
Not my cause, this because this is our planet, all right?
Our planet.
Not just my planet, this is our planet.
Our cause. So guys, you have heard him, and we all have to come together, save soil, let us make it happen.
100
Please.
days.
100 days, 100 days. Every day, 100 days. Boom!
Okay, thank you very much.